Welcome back. Today we will be focusing on one of the fundamental tools in Figma, the Shape tool. It is a tool that lays the foundation for almost every design you create within this platform. So we'll look into some basic shapes like a rectangle, ellipse and stars. These are the building blocks of every interface that you will see. Like even the stars are used for ratings, as you can see here. The rectangle for buttons, the circle for indicators. There are different use. So in Figma, on the left side, if you'll see, there is an option. By default, the shape that is selected is rectangle. If you'll click on this side menu, you'll get an option where we have rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon and star. And the last option is to place an image or a video in your file. So we'll one by one see every shape. So let's talk about rectangle first. So I'll just select the rectangle and I'll just drag on the screen. If I drag on the screen, I can make a rectangle easily. But if I want a perfect square, I'll just press shift and then I will drag. So I'll get a perfect shape. So this is how a perfect square is drawn. If I'll select the shape, on my right side, you can see the position x and y coordinates of the rectangle. Then there is width, height, and this option here. I'll show you. If I'll change the height here, I mean if I keep it as 500, it will change this in the same ratio. So this is how it works. And now like if I'll select this is the fill option. Fill option is used to change the color of the object, like whatever color you want. So let's say I'll go with a brighter red here. Fine. The stroke option is basically it highlights the outline of the shape. If I'll click on this plus icon, if you can see clearly, a border has been added to this. So for a clear vision, I'll change it to white color. Maybe this is the weight of the border. If let's say we'll keep it 20 so that it's quite visible. Yeah, it's visible now. And here the option we have three options here. Okay, so center, inside and the outside. The border gets applied according to our wish, either center, inside or outside. This is this part. If I want borders on a particular side only, so I have options here. If I'll click on this, I'll get either I want top, it will remain on the top, bottom, left, right, works the same way. And the custom thing is used for if I want a particular, let's say I want 10 as the weight at the top border, I want the right border to be, let's say 12, so it will apply according to it. If I want this to be, let's say 35, so I'll get a 35 border at the bottom. So these are the things. In the stroke, you can even change the color by just simply clicking on whichever color you want. It's pretty easy. This works. Yeah. And one more thing, on the right side, if you'll select a shape, you'll see there is an eye icon. So basically, if I'll click it, it will get disappear, and if I'll turn on, it will turn on. Same with the stroke. So this is the shape rectangle. So there are in Figma there are a lot of shortcuts that you can use. So the shortcut used for rectangle is R. If I'll just press R on my keyboard and I'll drag on the screen, I can simply create a rectangle or a square according to my wish. So this is a rectangle. So let's move on towards ellipse. So for ellipse, either you can go here and again select ellipse and draw. The same goes with this. If you'll hold shift, you will get a perfect circle. If you'll not hold shift, you can get a random ellipse, whichever you want. Same at the right side, you can see there is height, width, x and y coordinate. And if I'll select, let's say I will select this rectangle, what I can do is, you can see here is the option, that is rotation. So I can set rotation of the shape. Let's say I want a 45 degree. So this will just get rotated by 45 degree. Let's say I want the border radius to be something around 20. So what this will do is this will change the border and this will give a radius to it. So it's 20 currently. You can change according to your wish. And as we saw in stroke, if we want a particular stroke to be in a right, left, top, bottom, we had an option there, right? So same works here also. If I'll select the shape and go here, I can see these are the different options. Like this one, if I'll change, this is for top left radius. This is the top right one. This is the bottom right and this is the bottom left one. Yeah. So these are the things. we were in ellipse. So if I'll hold down the ellipse, I can see same options here also. Like if you want to give a particular color, you can give that. If you want stroke, you can just apply anything that you want. Let's say I'll guess this 20. Let's say I'll keep it white. So this is the ellipse and the circle tool. So the next one that we'll see is polygon. So polygon. So for polygon, I'll simply drag again. So the polygon that is default is a triangle. So I'll just drop it here. So when I'll select here, you can see there is an extra added option here. So this option is used for count. So let's say if I'll change it to maybe 5, so I'll get a pentagon. Let's say 8, I'll get an octagon. So same works if we'll change on, let's say 12, so it will keep on changing. Let's say I'll keep it 56. As now, like you can see, it's not quite visible because at the end of a day, circle is a polygon with its infinite sides, right? So that works that way. Now, other than polygon, we also have a star option, right? So let's say I'll select the star option. I'll again drag on the screen. So same, if I'll drag it in a random way, I can create any size, shape, I can even compress it. But if I want a perfect star, I'll just hold down shift and then drag. So let's say I've got a star. So star has more functions to it. Let's say if I select this, on the right side you will see this is the count. Basically these are the counts of, if let's say I will make it 20. So the count gets increased. Now here we can see one more option is there. That's the ratio. Basically if I'll change the ratio, the circle in the middle will change. Like let's say this has covered the 38% of the whole star right now. If I'll keep it 50%, see, it increases. And if you don't want to change from here, the other option is you can change. You can just hold this and you can just drag it down and up, and here we go. You can see it changes easily. And let's say if I want to increase the count, I can hold it down. I can just change it. So this is really cool. I mean, like to see a star changing its length and all. So it's great. Now after stars also follows the same thing. It will have a white color, and if I want to give a stroke, I'll just select it red, and maybe I'll increase this to 20. So you can play around with all these options the same way. Like you can even turn off the strokes, turn on, turn off. If I want outside, I can give it outside. So we'll move on towards the other tools. That is a line tool. So basically if I draw a line, I can draw in any of the directions, but if I hold shift, I can draw a line in a straight direction. So basically I have kept it right now as an inclined line. So to make it visible, we'll make it 20. So now it's quite visible now. So if you'll select, you can see an option here. So this is basically the rotation of the line. Let's say we'll change it to 45. So it becomes at 45. Let's say I'll make it minus 45. So it will just make it as mirror image. After this, we have an arrow option. So I can just draw an arrow here. I'll again increase the width to 20 to make it visible. Let's say make it white. Again we have the option here for the angle. Let's say this time we are going to keep it as minus 10. So it gets inclined in minus 10. If I'll hold this, again I'll get some different option this time in strokes. So in the first one, starting point, so you can change what kind of arrow you want. If you want a line arrow, triangle arrow, reverse triangle, circle arrow, diamond arrow. And other than this, if you want you don't want an arrow at that side, you can just either go for round or square, or you can even go for none. So let's say as for now we'll keep it as circle arrow. And front also you can change if you want. Like you can either keep it as circle, reverse, triangle. Right now I'll keep it as triangle arrow. And yeah, if you want to interchange the position, there is a icon in between. You can just select it and it will just reverse. So this is how this works. If you'll click on more options, you can change the stroke style to dash. If I'll select here dash, I'll get a drop down menu. So in this menu, if I'll change the amount, let's say 10. So the amount of dash gets increased. If I'll say 40, it gets decreased. So it works that way. Even if I want the dash caps to be of a particular shape, you can just go, you can say flat, you can either say circle, and this stands for the joints. So if you want a bevel one, you can select a bevel one. If you want a rounded one, you can select a rounded one. So this is the line icon. So after this, you can see we are done with arrow, we are done with line, we are done with rectangle, we are done with polygon, we are done with star. The last thing, that is place an image or a video. So if you want to place an image in your file, you can simply just select place an image. Then you can select any of the image that you want to put in your file. I just select and I'll say open. So now what I can do is I can simply paste it in the empty space like this. It will get displayed here. But what if I want this to be in this frame, that is a ellipse? So for that, what I will do is I'll again go here, I'll say place image or video, then I'll select any of the icons that I want or the image that you want. Let's say I'll put this image, I'll select and I'll just simply click on this, and yeah, you can see this has been added to this easily. Let's say we'll add something to this. So this time, but what we are going to do is we are going to use the shortcut key. So the shortcut key is Control Shift K on Windows and Command Shift K on the Mac. So I have a Mac, so I'll use Command Shift K and I'll just select any of the random image. Let's say this, just click here. So in this way you can use shapes in Figma